Alright guys, so in game we got a little bit of an announcement of what's to come up next for the NA version of the game. It's a little disappointing for me because we are coming out of summer and we're getting an interlude campaign, but hey, at least it's better than nothing, right? I guess they don't usually do events back to back, like immediately one event ends and then we get another one following up on it, but this actually ain't that bad if you have Okita and you have Okita Alter, because they're going to be getting some pretty nice buffs over here. They're not like super nuts to butts broken or anything, but they're just nice, I would say, quality of life buffs for both of those servants. I don't think it's going to like jump them up on the tier list by like 2 or 3 rankings, right? They're still going to be pretty good, but you know, it'll make it a lot easier when it comes to using them, right? All these other servants are going to be getting some other interludes as well. So if you have Ibuki, you have Vitra, you know, you can get some free Senquarts over there. But if you don't have any of these guys, well, at the very least, you should still be walking away with 2 for Corday over here. And I know that's a big fat W for all the Corday enjoyers that are going to be watching this video. So that's at least nice. Everybody's going to be walking away with 2 Senquarts. We're also going to be getting a summoning campaign over here where you can get Okita Alter, who I want to stay away from me, right? I know a lot of people like Okita Alter. I like her too, but she just will not leave me alone, all right? People already know the story, but I'm going to tell it anyways. I was going for Izo, didn't get a single copy on both of the banners, both on the original event and the rerun, but I did pull an Okita Alter both times, right? I'm like, dude, how am I pulling the 5-star on the banner and not a single 3-star, right? It was the most perplexing thing, but if you like Okita Alter, you can go ahead and pick her up and then get a little bit of your Senquarts back and have a pretty decent unit, I would say. Okita Alter suffers from, I think, just being a buster servant. I really wish she was a quick servant, but then again, at the same time, her buff does help her out when it comes to buster farming, so if you do want to use her for that, I guess she gets a little bit better, but I think the real prize for a lot of people is going to be Van Gogh over here, because Van Gogh, as a lot of us know, is a very, very strong unit, although for a lot of people she can be a little confusing to use, but realistically, you can just go in there, click all the skills, and then just smack people with crits and, you know, curse debuff everybody and have a fun time. Even at like a very low level, you can have a lot of fun using Van Gogh. So that's at least really nice. We should also be getting some of this over here for the login bonus, so if you do want to do some extra summons, you should get a couple of tickets and then some EXP cards, which isn't the craziest thing, but hey, it's better than nothing. These are 2 extra summons that you weren't going to be able to do otherwise that you can now do, so that's really nice. We also have, you know, main story, interlude, all this good stuff that's going to be half and a quarter over here. I wish they would also do the daily quests as well. I wish for some of these they would just make them half, or I don't know, maybe even just crazy idea, make the dailies half off permanently, because those things being 40 AP just, I don't know how like to word this, but it just doesn't even seem worth the AP, right? With free quests being like 23, it's like, man, just make these like 20 to like farm all of these and let's just call it a day, right? Let's just do that, or bring it back more frequently, just so at least there's a little bit more value with doing the dailies. I don't know, but let's talk about some of the servant buffs that we're going to be getting. So first and foremost, there's Okita. It's going to be this skill right here, which, you know, when I saw that the interlude campaign was coming out, I was like, who gets buffed for this? And I was like, Okita and Okita Alter, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was this buff that she got, because I was like, oh yeah, it must be the on attack buff thing that makes her like able to do a ton of damage, but no, it's her second skill buff over here, which takes her, you know, star weight over here, and it's going to tack on a turn of crit damage to go with that turn of star weight, and then it gives her a 30% battery, which, again, not the most crazy thing on the planet, but it is kind of a more convenient buff for her. So now, if you want to do big crits with Okita, you don't have to waste her dodge skill over here. You can save this for a turn where you really do need it, and you can kind of just pop this and start doing some nice crits. Unfortunately, they're both only on 1 turn, on a 5-turn cooldown, so that's a little bit annoying. You can't, you know, get a whole lot of crits out of it, but that 1 turn is going to be very nice, and realistically, you should be using Okita with, say, Scotty, who will give her 100% quick crit damage, so you can do a lot of crits on those anyway, but if you're like me and you don't have Scotty, it'll just be nice that you can do extra crits. You can combine this also with her third skill to do 90% crit damage for a turn. And the battery is also really nice. Okita, I found, doesn't really have an issue when it comes to looping her NP because her natural NP gain is ridiculously high. You gotta remember, she's a year 1 unit where they did not really respect quick cards. So they just threw like 5-hit quick cards on Okita and 6-hit quick cards over on Jack. And they're just ridiculous, right? Like, their quick cards are absolutely nutty broken. because they just didn't have any respect for the, the card type. And so she really doesn't have an issue when it comes to refunding her NP. But, I mean, the 3 hits on the NP could be a little bit better, but still, these, I think, definitely make up for it. But if you want to do something where you immediately fire your NP using a battery, again, doesn't really need that because you already have Scotty with double Scotty giving you 50%, but it can be nice for people like me, right, who don't have their own Scotty and need a little bit of an extra battery to just start immediately firing your NP. It can also be very nice if you want to use Okita. I imagine, this sounds really weird, but if you want to have her try to, like, loop one enemy and then, fire another NP, like, for, like, a farming node, if it's, like, a 1-1-2 node or something weird like that, I guess you could try to have her do that, and if you need a little bit of extra NP, that can be kind of nice. I don't know why you would try to do that, but whatever, you can get her to do that. You could also use her in, like, 90 plus content, right? Again, if you have your double cast warriors firing their their NPs into her, she gets 60%, then you get 30% from the skill, and then if you, I don't know, have starting charge CE or you want to use her a pen skill down here, that can be kind of nice for her, I suppose. But yeah, it's just a nice little thing that we're going to be getting on her. Not the most broken thing on the planet, but it's very convenient, right? It makes her crits bite a little bit harder, and you can just do a lot more with the NP, right? Like all that stuff, maybe you won't ever use that on Okita, but it just opens extra doors for her. Then Okita Alter over here got her 3rd skill buff, and this one was definitely very, very needed. Again, I thought the buff that she was getting was this one right here, but turns out we've had this one for a really long time, and when you play JP and NA, you kind of get the, what servants got what buffs already. That kind of blurs a little bit, so, I always get confused on which servants still have their buffs and who has not gotten them already. But we're getting this one over here, which again is just nice. Makes her a little bit better as a buster farmer, because then instead of 1 turn of NP damage, you get 3 turns of NP damage, which is really nice. And then she also increases her NP stage by 2 for 1 time for 3 turns, which can be very, very nice because it'll give her some extra damage. Unfortunately, this does not proc first. I think Okita Alter could be looking really nice if in the future they maybe have this proc first, because this could be really nice in just bumping up her damage for all 3 nodes, but also your initial node will have a 40% down, so that could be really good if you need her to take out some big first wave or something along those lines. So just some nice stuff that they're giving her over here. They also buffed her evasion by 1 hit, which I absolutely love, because this 1 hit of evasion, whenever servants have only 1 hit of evasion or 1 hit of invincibility, it just always feels like it's never enough. It just feels like, I don't know, they get tapped once, they lose their dodge, and then they get 2 tapped again. Like someone else just comes and beats them up, and it's like, well, that 1 hit didn't even matter, right? Because, your enemies can attack up to 3 times per turn, so I feel like once you have 2, it's like, okay, I can negate 2 incoming attacks, and if they happen to attack me a 3rd time, I could probably take that 3rd last hit and won't take too much damage. But yeah, just some nice buffs that they're throwing out over here, over for us on the NA version of the game. I imagine things over on JP will be a little bit more lively, as you can kind of see over here. Wanjina is going to be coming out, I believe, tonight. So it should be... Well, I'm recording this the day she should be coming out, but I'm probably going to put this out the day after because, probably more pressing to talk about the new servant than talking about just the interlude campaign. But yeah, I imagine, JP will be a little bit more exciting. But, if you like Van Gogh and you like Okita Alter, this can be kind of nice. If you're like me and you like using Okita even without Scotty, is going to be very fun because it's going to make her a little bit better. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'll probably do some videos talking about Okita and Okita Alter, because I actually have not really used Okita Alter too much with her new buff. So I'll be very excited to see how much weight I can really get out of this, or not that weight, but I guess how much value I can get out of this unit, especially because I have her NP2, right? I could maybe finally start using her, right? Maybe I could use her as a buster farmer or something along those lines. And then Okita, I think it'll be really cool to visit her with a battery and see if it makes things a little bit nicer, or maybe she really doesn't need it, but it'll just be kind of cool to test out and use. But with all that being said, I'm going to stop rambling. You guys let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like on the video and you subscribe for that daily FGO content. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Bye-bye.